Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all staying safe and managing these extremely difficult times, and I hope you're sleeping a lot better than I am at present. I'm just stood here because I want to give you a little bit of a talk regarding the recent government guidance, and then also we're going to produce some other short videos where we will be looking at the logistics of getting the children back to school on the 1st of June, straight after half term. First of all, who is coming back? Well, the government have asked for nursery children, reception children, year 1 children and year 6 children to come back to school. This is alongside those children who are classed as vulnerable and who are the children of critical workers and key workers. As you can imagine, this is an absolute logistical headache for all head teachers and all schools, primary schools throughout the country. The first things we thought about is numbers. How many children will we have? How many staff will we have available? That is the first thing we needed to really think about here at Barnby Road. Implementing the protective measures. We have read through the government documents, which are not overly clear, and we have interpreted that at Barnby Road and how we would put those into place to ensure that we are keeping ourselves and the children as safe as possible. The key objective is minimising the risks. At no point can we completely get rid of any risk to adults or children. Our intention has been to do everything in our powers to minimise those risks as much as we can. How would that work? The obvious one is symptoms. If anybody, whether that's a staff member, whether that's a family member of a staff member, whether it is children, or the family of children is showing any symptoms, we must continue to follow the government guidelines like we have been doing for the last 7 weeks, like we did prior to finishing here at Barnby Road. That guidance is still very, very clear and we must follow it to the letter. Risk assessments. As a school, with support from the local authority, we will be putting together comprehensive risk assessments to analyse lots of different things, so we are putting various measures in place to try to ensure the safety of all involved. Hygiene measures. I've never washed my hands as much as in this last few weeks as I have done probably the rest of my life, but we will be asking children, staff, everybody to follow those hand washing guidance religiously, and also we'll be following our catch it, bin it, kill it measures that we had in place before we finished at Barnby Road. So we'll be reinforcing that on a regular basis. Cleaning. We will be having extra cleaning happening around the school, whether that be after the children have used a certain area for a certain session, whether it's at lunch times, whether it's after school. There will be comprehensive cleaning measures put in place. Group sizes and staffing. The government guidance is that we do not have any groups of more than 15. We believe we can achieve that at Barnby Road, and we believe that our group sizes will probably be less than 15. In terms of the staffing, we will allocate certain staff members to certain groups, and they will stay with that group throughout the entirety of this part of our coming out of the lockdown measures. One-way system and staggered routines. We will have, for drop-offs, a one-way system in which you'll be able to drop your child off and then leave the school site as safely as possible. We may have staggered routines in the mornings and at the end of the day, and more information regarding those will come in my little independent videos where I will focus on the different age ranges that we will be taking back. Siblings. Can siblings come to school? Unfortunately, the answer to that is no, unless they fall into the category of a vulnerable child or a child of a key worker. I know this is a massive dilemma from lots of you from the recent information that you've been giving us through the survey, but I'm sorry, we cannot just take siblings in because you feel it is unfair that one child comes and not the other. Now, just a little bit of general information. Attendance. Will you be punished for non-attendance? Of course not. Whether you choose to send your child or not is entirely your decision, and you have to make that decision on how comfortable you feel about it, and you will be supported in that process. In terms of the priority groups, the government are encouraging children who are vulnerable and children of key workers to come back to school, But again, that decision is still with you. You do not need to feel pressured that you have to send your child into school. You need to make that decision on what's best for you and your individual circumstances. Clinically vulnerable and any underlying health conditions. Now, some of you will have children or family members who are clinically vulnerable. The advice is still the same in that you do not have to send them in, you can keep them safe indoors. And also this is the same with underlying health conditions. If it is a family member that is vulnerable or has an underlying health condition, and your child still wanted to come to school and you wanted to send your child to school, you can do that, but that decision is yours and obviously is at your own risk. The educational offer. I think you could all understand, and as you can imagine, the educational offer will not be like a normal school day at Barnby Road. It will be very different. However, we will do our best to ensure that those children are supported, their well-being is cared for, they are given opportunities to do some form of maths, some form of English, and they'll be doing lots of nice themed and topic activities throughout lots of the day, whether that is inside the area that they will be working or whether it's outside on our wonderful side, experiencing a bit of fresh air and maybe playing a little bit of sport along the way. School meals. We are very fortunate, we've got a wonderful cook here at Barnby Road. Debbie has been in lots of times over the last few weeks ensuring that some of the children have got hot meals for the majority of the weeks, and her team are prepared for when we come back on the 1st of June to ensure there will be a hot meal for those children that are attending available at lunchtime. In terms of just one other thing there with the hot meals, in terms of what the menu will be, I know some of your children will probably be asking that, we do not know at the moment, however we will issue further guidance nearer to the time when we come back on the 1st of June. School hours. We are intending to keep our school hours as close to what they normally were as possible. It may result in a slightly earlier finish time for some, and it might result in a slightly earlier start time for some, but we'll give you further guidance as we go round and explain how it is going to work for each of the age ranges on the further videos that will come and further guidance that will come. Breakfast club. We will offer a breakfast club still at Barnby Road. That breakfast club will start at 7:30. I will give further guidance regarding breakfast club and how to drop off there in a shorter video at some point later on today. The key message I need to give you all is please keep us up to date. As you can imagine, us knowing accurate numbers has a massive impact on the provision that we will be offering. If we know we're going to get that amount of numbers and that amount of groups in the different age ranges, we can put a clear plan in place and clear staffing in place to accommodate it. If on that first day we had people turning up who had not notified us, it will be an absolute nightmare. So please, 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 my big message to you is keep us up to date with your intentions and whether your child will be attending, because that will have massive knock-on implications. The last thing I need to say to you all is please bear with us. We are doing our best here at Barnby Road. We are doing our best to create some form of educational offer for the groups identified. I want you all to stay safe, and I want you all to please inform us if there is any changes in your circumstances, even if it is after the 1st of June, so we can react accordingly. Take care, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Chamberlain.